how is this feeling, his absence, and then this idea that we will not meet him again.
So when I looked up at his photograph, it had not sunk in, but to be in Assam, to be in Guwahati, it finally sunk in that I can actually not pick up the phone and call him now and hear him. That is... KK moved on and it was tough. And then we both performed for KK's tribute in Bangalore. And then this happening. अभी गरिमा को भी जब मैं मिला तो मैंने वही कहा कि हमें यकीन नहीं हो रहा है तो आपको तो कैसे होगा.
The cult that Zubeen had in Assam, we knew about it, but Bollywood somewhere did not catch that cult so easily.
It's India's loss that they couldn't use him, and he didn't want to be. He always told me that my people love me, they treat me like a king. Why would I want to hang out? Anyways, I don't like the energies of Bombay's. He knew somewhere, he could see that in his eyes, that he was in love with his people and he didn't want to go. But in his last couple of interviews which you saw, he was already talking about leaving. I'm tired, he said.
I have a clip here. I would want you to react on it.
Sure.
Because just when you said it, my voice is not doing good.
I know that. I know. I've got a flu, but I'm not gonna sing. Bheegey Hont tere. Now on your podcast, I'm clarifying this today. का मतलब क्या होता है? इसका मतलब, and that's what happened with Bheegey Hont. I know what your next question will be. The thing is, I was not ready to sing Bheegey Hont. I told God, I said, what are you punishing me for? So Salim from Salim Suleiman has been my school friend since kindergarten. Salim said, Ganja, when did you start singing?
He calls you Ganja.
Ganja. And he gave me a few cute bad words also with that. Gandu, Ganja, tu kab se?
How was it feeling, being at Kamakhya, and that night when you went with Zubeen?
That night in 2008, after the Nehru Stadium concert with Zubeen, when I went there, it was different because I'd gone in the day, and there we went in the night, and we were sitting on the steps all night, laughing and reminiscing. While he was in the car, he enjoyed a drink, but when he came there, he didn't. But when he went back, he continued on his day, and he said, "Tu kaisa hai yaar? Tu Ganjawala aur tu na smoke karta hai, na drink karta hai." I said, "मैं company तो दे रहा हूँ ना तुझे." चन्ना वे घर आ जावे टोला वे घर आ जावे तेरियां उड्डिकां विच मुक चले सांझ ततड़ी दे रोग मुका जावे. Why I'm saying Channa is because it's like a prayer or a call from a mother or a sister or a wife or a friend to someone who's away and saying Channa ghar aa jaave. So somewhere I hope we can all wake up and feel like this was a nightmare, and then we wake up and we find out that Zubeen's coming to perform tomorrow in our area.
Since you do not have so many podcast episodes or interview, I haven't seen so many.
I don't do by choice.
What made you come here?
I don't know. Something just kind of snapped in my head. Something, I said, yeah, okay, I'll do it. Because I love the Northeast anyway. So I have a soft corner for everything from West Bengal upwards, for the Seven Sisters.
Like, I have heard a few interviews. I have heard stories of you and Zubeen. Can we record? Okay. I have heard so many stories, you spending time with him in Kamakhya. अभी जब आप असम आते हो या अभी जब आप आए, फिलहाल आप उनके घर जाके आए, how is this feeling, like his absence, and then this idea that we will not meet him again? How does it feel? Because just yesterday when I saw you performing there, you were staring at the photograph, the poster there, and I could somewhere feel you that it's still unbelievable that Zubeen is no more with us.
So when I looked up at his photograph, Bhupen Hazarikaji's photo was next to him. But I've known him for 30 years now. I met him in 96 in Bombay. So it had not sunk in, so to say. But to be in Assam, to be in Guwahati, and to be, in Pathshala, it finally sunk in that I can actually not pick up the phone and call him now and hear him, or to have hug him and have him whisper something in my ear. That finally dropped. The penny dropped there, and it's crazy. It takes time. And even when I went for my concerts in West Bengal, in Calcutta, outskirts of Calcutta, people were asking me to sing as early as last month. but I was scared of breaking down.
Yeah.
It's not. So I told and I'm very candid with my audience. I don't think about what I'm saying. I don't, because my life is not pretentious. I'm organic, just like my surname, you know. So I always say Ganjawala is very organic, you know. So I was scared that I'll break down on stage because KK moved on and it was tough. And then we both performed for KK's tribute in Bangalore. And then this happening. So I told the audience, I'm sorry. As much as I want to, it's not easy because you all have lost someone who you've loved and heard. But I've known him.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I've gone and dined with him and hung out 1,000,000 times. No. We may have met 30, 40 times in our life, either in the studio or at a concert or at an airport. But that relationship of someone going so suddenly, if you go with old age, if you go with, prolonged illness, तो ठीक है, समझ सकते हैं.
वो acceptable हो जाता है.
Acceptable हो जाता है because you get time to prepare. तो वही चीज़ अभी गरिमा को भी जब मैं मिला तो मैंने वही कहा कि हमें यकीन नहीं हो रहा है तो आपको तो कैसे होगा. And also the mood of Assam, and rightly so, it's just unbelievable. So yesterday also it took a lot of courage for me to actually sing, feeling blue, and I tried to sing, but Assamese is not something that I've sung. I've only sung a few songs, so it's a little close to Bengali, but so I didn't want to sing wrong. But how do I tell the audience that? So then I sang 2 Hindi songs. I have prepared though, my sound, my guitar player and friend Ambarish Saikia for many years. He helped me put the words down, but I'd rather sing something with love which is correct because I don't want to hurt anybody here, though my audiences love me.
True.
In Assam also. So if that answers your question, that it's tough on us, and I just hope that we all wake up one day and look at what has happened and feel like, oh, it was just a dream.
It's been over 2 months now and we still have that feeling. And that's so unreal, so unusual.
Surreal, no?
Because we haven't felt that for over so many years for anybody. But how do you look at this? The cult that Zubinda had, we all in Assam, we knew about it. People in West Bengal knew about it. But Bollywood somewhere did not catch that cult so easily. Like when I see most of them remembering him today and calling upon his iconic songs now, I somewhere feel he was not much given the warmth when he actually deserved it maybe. Do you feel so?
Absolutely. But I remember a news channel in Kokrajhar asked me when I came in 23. When I just started after a gap of 8 years, I had decided not to sing once my little fellow was born. I took a hiatus, and so they asked me. I said, it's India's loss that they couldn't use him, and he didn't want to be. He always told me that my people love me. They treat me like a king. Why would I want to hang out? Anyways, I don't like the energies of Bombay. Everybody's in a rush. Everybody's ready to cut everybody's head off just for that much more. They're not. They're fake. And so he said, I love my people and I love my Guwahati and I love my Assam. If people knew, I'm just giving them a small chance because I don't judge people that easily. If they knew that he had an iconic status, then for that vested interest, maybe they would have used him so that they can get more mileage.
Not for the voice.
For the voice, yes. But see, the thing is, please realize that the glamour industry, everywhere in the world, will only do things that suit them.
Okay.
They haven't understood Mohammad Rafi's talent or Kishore Das or Lataji's Ashay. They only worked with them because they were popular for an entire lifetime.
Okay.
It's very clear. Even Zubin knew that. The greatest cricketers, the greatest sportsmen, the greatest actors will all be used not because they're great actors or performers or sportsmen or singers, because their time is good.
Okay.
That, if any artist doesn't realize that, then they're living a lie.
And how do you look at yourself?
I'm very happy. I was very happy to take 8 years off because I know that my life is not because of the music or music is a very important part of my life, but it is not my life in total. My life is my family, my beliefs, my music. So it's a very important part, and my spirituality. So these are the three big parts, which is my relationship with God, my family, and my music. That makes my life. And whatever I believe in, like I'm connected to the Satya Sai organization in terms of humanitarian work, in terms of whatever charities that people associate themselves with. I'm associated with the mission, where there's free hospitals, free education, completely free of charge.
Okay.
Free hospitals, Satya Sai Sanjeevani. Education system from the 6th grade till PhD is completely free, lodging, boarding, and studies. Now there's a free medical college in Bangalore, in the outskirts of Bangalore, called Muddenahalli. That's the epicenter. We are making free doctors. Free doctors.
That's huge.
Sri Satya Sai Madhusudan Institute of Higher Studies.
Okay.
We are making free doctors who will not just stay for free, live for free, but also study for free and serve for free in the free hospitals which are in the mission. Free nutrition as well, including Assam. 27 states, 1 crore 25 lakh children get free nutritious breakfast every day in the morning. So I am very well versed with the fact that the industry only does things and associates because your time is good. That same artist remains to be good or bad. That depends on the artist's life and lifestyle. But they will only work to use the shebang to better their project. So Zubeen also knew that very clearly. And he wrote in the Filmfare magazine when Ya Ali became a super hit. I remember reading the interview when I was in a flight. And he had very clearly written in that. So he was very well aware. So when people say that Zubeen didn't get used, Zubeen didn't care. He was very happy and confident in who he was.
Yeah.
And the love he had from his people of Assam and the Northeast. Imagine you're at the peak of your career, Hindi career. I'll never say peak because his peak is still on.
Yeah. He has always been on the peak.
Exactly. So for him, he was on the peak of Hindi. It was a new feather in his cap. And in that interview, after Ya Ali has been number one everywhere, he says, this is not my first love. You can look it up in the Filmfare of 2005 or 6, forget which year it was written. He said, my love is to compose my song and sing them in Assam.
Wow.
He's written that in the interview.
I did not know this.
There you go. So I knew at that point that this man was a fear. I had met him 10 years before that.
By then, you know him.
10 years, I had already known him.
You met him in 1996.
In 96, 97 at Jatin Sharma's studio.
Yeah, okay.
You know, Dhruva Jyoti Fukan and Jatin Sharma. And we had done a project which was old songs rehashed, remixed, which Jatin had made. And he had done Charti Jawani. And I had done Mohammad Rafi Saab's Aja Aja, whatever. So I just knew from that interview, because we had only known each other. We were friends, but we were not hangout buddies. You know. After that, I came to Nehru Stadium and I did a concert with him, and we hung out at Kamakhya Temple the whole night. And so I just knew that this man was not attached to the Bombay shebang and the fake. Not just Bombay, but any big industry will be not organic.
Like when, suppose 2005, we are considering the year. I was just 5 years old then. So I might not get the feeling of how big Ya Ali was then.
Oh boy. Oh yeah.
How was that feeling then?
Fantastic. Bheegey Hont had just released. And that was on Imran. And now Ya Ali again was on Imran. So that was 2 years apart. I think it was 2006 or 7, I forget. And or maybe earlier. It was huge. It was everywhere. And it still is today. So today, recently Imran got interviewed on Shubhankar Mishra's podcast. And he told him, can you give and he's like, I cannot give you a top 5.
Yeah.
You know, and it was very honest. Imran's also a very organic and honest man. But when he was recounting, he spoke about KK's beautiful song. He spoke about Ya Ali. And Zarasi he spoke about for KK song. And then he spoke about Bheegey Hont, and he spoke about Arijit's one song from Shankar S. Loy's film, which he had done with Nandini Srikar. You know, beautiful. So they mentioned, he asked for 5, he mentioned 4.
Among them, if Ya Ali was one.
He mentioned Ya Ali, so huge, you know. So and I really love that song personally, Jaane Kya, and also Jaane Kya.
I heard your version. It was so. Can we just hear a few lines?
I'm a little unrested, but जाने क्या चाहे मन बावरा, जाने क्या चाहे मन बावरा. I don't have the words in front of me. सावन चला, सावन चला, feeling blue. Whatever, I'm not rested.
I have a clip here. I would want you to react on it.
Sure.
Because just when you said this, that my voice is not doing good. There is
I
an
know
iconic
that.
clip.
I know. But
Which-
see, you genuinely know because I've finished a concert.
Yeah, obviously.
I've traveled all the way to see Garima.
Obviously.
And I've slept for like 6-7 hours maybe. Finally, after 2 days of having not slept after my Goa
People
concert.
do not know about this journey, that you managed to miss the flight.
Oh boy.
You reached Guwahati by almost 6-7 hours late. You traveled to Pathshala, did a show. You slept just for a few hours. Then morning came to Guwahati, met Garimabo. Then came here for the podcast. And then
Now I'll go to
going
Samadhi.
Sonapur, and
then
again
I'll
to
go back to
Barpeta
Barpeta.
and perform a show. And then tomorrow you go to Bangalore.
Bangalore, yeah. Again, I sleep for 3 hours and leave at 5 in the morning or 4:30 so that I can get my 9:30 flight directly to Bangalore. I want to attend Satya Sai Baba's 100th birthday tomorrow.
That's
function.
the dedication.
That's and also my family is there. So Bhagwan is there and then my family.
Two of your top priorities.
Two of my and my third priority is my music and to be connected to music because that took me to God. It's through music that I found God.
I'll hear that story as well, but I would want you to react on this clip.
उसको अवार्ड मैं तभी दूंगी जब वो थोड़ा गा के सुनाएगा.
Look at me, I'm feeling so shy because that's Asha Bhosle.
Yeah.
मेरी आवाज, I've got a flu, but I'm not gonna sing. भीगे होंठ तेरे. Can you rewind that? See what I said. Now on your podcast, I'm clarifying this today.
Okay.
See what I said. But this is edited.
Yeah, just a jerk. I think.
Okay, stop. I am not going to sing का मतलब क्या होता है? I am not means I am going. ऐसा नहीं है कि मैं नहीं गाऊंगा. इसका मतलब वो होता है. Please realize.
This not going to sing. Oh my
People
God.
miss that. कि ऐसा कभी नहीं हो सकता कि मैं नहीं गाऊंगा.
I'm
Double
not
negative.
going to sing.
Not going to sing. That means I am going to. That's why I sang. So it's not the biggest. So it's not the biggest flex. It was not. See, even you after hearing
Yeah.
it didn't hear the two notes.
Yeah, definitely. Like I thought you just fumbled and you might have just repeated
No.
the word. Oh my God.
Because I had a throat infection, I had temperature. This was in London. It was 11 o'clock in the night and we were in a controlled facility and it was cold. And I was dying of throat infection because I'd gone to see my wife because she was on the West End
Okay.
playing the lead.
Okay.
So I'd gone to see her and to collect the Z Award.
Okay.
And I was so overwhelmed because Asha Bhosle ji is giving me the award. And Vinod Khanna ji, who's been like a heartthrob, what a good-looking man. So look at me, that where I'm looking down saying, okay, is this moment real? And now she's going to ask me to sing, and you heard my voice crack right now. Because I'm not rested, but by the time I go, I'll sip on hot water and reach Barpeta and I'll be fine. Because that God takes care. Because I'm doing this out of my love.
Yeah.
And I surrender to him and so yesterday, Sahil, ये show कैसे हुआ, वो भगवान ही जानते. 1 घंटा सो के. I slept at 8:30, I woke up at 9:30 in the night.
Okay.
Because till then I was preparing to sing the Assamese songs, to pronounce, and what I'm hearing is not what the real pronunciation is. So it was very difficult. I finished writing 2 songs, Mayabini and one more beautiful song. And I said, I have to sleep, otherwise I'm fading. And I slept for 1 hour. Luckily the concert got delayed to 11 o'clock. Then I quickly showered, changed. And so and it all went off well. On stage, nobody realized, not even me.
That's a different magic, I feel, no? In the stage.
And it happens to me all the time because when you surrender, you see miracles happening. It's like saying that when you're walking on the beach, if you're walking as 2 people, you separate and
Your soul separate, maybe.
Yeah, like if you are someone who doesn't, how do I say? When you put the faith in the Almighty, in whichever way you see it, you will always see only one pair of footprints because God carries you.
Okay.
Right.
You and him?
On the footprints of life,
Okay.
on the footprints, you'll see only one pair.
Okay.
And that's what happened with Bheegey Hont. I know what your next question will be. The thing is, I was not ready to sing Bheegey Hont because I didn't like the words. I was scared. Not like, I was scared because I told God, I said, what are you punishing me for? भीगे होंठ तेरे प्यासा दिल मेरा, लगे अब्रसा मुझे तन तेरा, जम के बरसा दे मुझ पर घटाए, तू ही मेरी प्यास, तू ही मेरा जाम, कभी मेरे साथ कोई रात गुजारना. I'm like, man, as I'm writing those lyrics, and I was not the original cast for that song.
Okay.
Someone else was supposed to sing who I till date don't know.
Okay.
But Mr. Anu Malik believed that I was the right choice for that song for whatever his reason was. Because I had sung a lot of alaps. He had already given me a few songs which had not finally made it to the soundtrack of other films like Asoka and many other films. Avara Pagal Divana. So he had promised me, saying, Hamdam Sunyore had released a year before. So he had told me, I'm going to give you your biggest next hit. He had promised me. And he had called me and promised me. So when I was writing that, it was all in a very hush-hush thing. He's like, so I said, what's the hurry, yeah? You know, but he made me write it in 10 minutes. He sang it to me. And straight on the mic. One take.
One take.
One take. I didn't get a second take again. One take, and then Mukesh ji walks in halfway through the song and says, who's this kid? Why is he singing? We are not supposed to record this song. We're supposed to do another song with Sonu Nigam tonight at 9 o'clock. I thought we were going to have a meeting, he's telling Anu. And all this is happening while I'm singing the actual take on the mic. So Mr. Malik just puts the talkback button on and says, you continue singing, don't stop. And then he does his magic. He looks at, he's talking and I'm... So all that is happening and I'm singing Bheegey and I'm seeing those, both of them sort of animated. So I'm like, man. I said, sing. So in my heart, I'm like, anyways, I don't want to sing this song. So I hope it gets cancelled. But I said, now you sing all this lyric. I said, I didn't pray for all this, yeah. I prayed that I be a musician, but you made me one. I got bullied to become a singer.
Huh?
In college, I was whistling and some seniors came and caught me and said, hey, nice, come on, sing. So I was like, what? That was the year 1990.
Okay.
So
You were in class?
First year college.
First year college.
Junior college, FYJC.
Okay.
And so I'm like, what? I said, sing. I'm whistling. What has whistling got to do with singing? Million and billion people whistle. Do they all become singers or are they all singers? Mm-hmm. So 5 of them, I tried to get out of the situation. But I was not allowed. There were 5 seniors who I didn't know. I was just in college for 2 months at that point, first year. So then I asked them, are you bullying me? Are you ragging me?
You asked them.
I'm asking them with a smile and all because I've heard of ragging and some very unfortunate incidents had happened in my college the year before.
Okay.
It was a very legendary college, Elphinstone College, very old college. It was already 150 years, 20 years ago. So it's about 175 years now it's going to be. And so they said, yeah, buddy, and ragging can get really... So they just looked at me and said, are you going to sing or... So I said, now 5 people... I said, I'm not Amitabh Bachchan by any standard. And SRK had not yet come onto the scene then, because my height is closer to SRK. So I said, beta, ga le tu, warna terko bahut maar padegi. So then I removed my wallet and I had a 50 rupee note. Okay. 50 rupees 35 years ago was a lot of money.
Okay.
So I said, I can treat you all, man, in the canteen, but it's 5 o'clock in the evening. Please don't make me go through the singing part. So they said, sing. And then they caught my collar and all. So I said, okay. And I sang. And to my surprise, more than theirs, I started singing. Consciously for the first time in my life. And then they all were giving high fives to each other and said, see, we told you. One guy even slapped me.
Out of happiness.
Out of happiness and said, come on, are you wasting our time? What's your name? I said, Ganjawala. Kunal Ganjawalla. Ganjawala? Very interesting. Then they literally dragged me and took me to the secretary's office, cultural secretary, and said, write his name. And he's Ganjawala. He's going to be singing a song. Or a month later or whatever. So I was like, I didn't know. I said, hold on. In my head, I'm saying, where is life taking me? So that was the moment where music came into my life.
First moment.
Before that, I was listening to radio and
But you were not
whistling.
singing?
Never in my life.
And from your family?
Nobody. My daddy used to play the harmonica.
Okay.
That was the only music.
But no singers in your
Nothing.
generation?
No music.
Oh my God.
I was studying to become a child. I loved cricket. So I played cricket for my house. We didn't have a school team. Okay. But I was the captain of my house and we would play a lot of cricket. And so Salim from Salim Suleiman has been my school friend since kindergarten till 10th. Okay. So Salim was also surprised when he met me 2 years later at his guru, teacher who taught him keys and who used to learn a lot of keyboard from Dinsha Sanjana. So Salim said, Ganja, when did you start singing?
He calls you Ganja.
Ganja. And he gave me a few cute bad words also with that. Like, Gandu, Ganja, tu kab se? So I said, even I didn't know, buddy. Around 93, 92, 93, when he met me at Dinsha's place, who gave me my first jingle.
Okay.
As life is such, you know what I'm saying? So I've seen too many miracles and I see them all the time. You know, I see them all the time happening. I'm not well. Everything becomes okay. I've got, when you lose your sense of balance, vertigo. This had happened in 2015, just before the birth of my son. And I had to go all the way to, in Bihar to perform. And I had to take a couple of injections and the doctor said, I think you should not travel. 6-hour journey by road in winter with fog.
Oh my God.
But somehow God makes it possible.
So do you believe in destiny or do you believe in miracle?
I believe that there is a God who's watching over in whatever form and name you see, but he's omnipresent. I see him as Mahadev. I see him as Buddha. I see him as Satya Sai Baba. I see him as Shirdi Sai Baba, Ganesh. The Nirakar form is always there. You know, our Muslim brothers see him as Allah. Christians see him as Jesus. The Jews see him as Yehovah. Your destiny is something that God has already written. And it is intermingled with your karma, with your actions. So when you say you write your own destiny, yes, you're always given that opportunity. There is always a choice at any given point. And whatever choice you make, it gets rewritten. But it's already, the blueprint is already there. This way or that way.
Okay.
So when you say that you have free will, I sometimes wonder, really? Because there are times you must have experienced that you are about to do something, but you do exactly the opposite.
Yeah.
Now, come on. You're not in control of your own fraction of a moment. You're walking, boom, you just fall. And you are being stealthy. You're into a wet bathroom. You're always making sure that you're walking, but you still fall and slip.
Yeah.
So if you're not in control of the very next moment or the moment before, how could you be writing your own destiny? It's already planned. So there was something that I lost the thread of that, is that if for everything that you do, there is two choices. So if you choose A, cut, that intelligence, supreme, I won't say artificial, the real intelligence, the organic
intelligence.
Super intelligence, which is how...
But organic intelligence sounds
Organic
better.
intelligence. OI, exactly.
OI.
Knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And we feel कि हमने ये choice किया, इसलिए ये उसका action निकला. तो हमें नहीं पता होता, पर उसे पता है कि तुम ये choose करोगे, तो वो chalk out हो गया. But he's so cool that if you chose B also, that path is also it's already pre-written.
So we really do not have a free will as well.
We think we have. It's like a little
push
dog or a cat or a cow or a horse that's been tied to a pole. We only have that much free will, we think, which is the leash. So उसी में हम लोग घूम रहे हैं और हमको लग रहा है हम free. It's like a little fish in a cage. It thinks it has free will, but the moment it reaches there, because it's got no memory, so it feels, oh, and then it goes back there and says, oh, I've come to a new place. And by the time it's gone there, it's forgotten that. So that's our life.
So suppose the era when you were everywhere, every music video, every cinema,
song.
Every movie, every song, and then you decide to halt, and for 8 years you did not sing.
Yeah.
आप उस decision में कैसे आए? क्योंकि आप तो एक stardom enjoy कर रहे हैं, and I feel to stop, it takes courage. Also, it takes some of the statistical mind to calculate what you are going to do next. So what made you stop and decide that you are not going to do, and then again come back? And do you feel this halt and then the comeback really is worth it today?
It had nothing. I'm not a calculated guy. I have, जो तार होता है ना, जो दिमाग वाला तार होता है, वो मेरा कटा हुआ है. उस मायने में मैं और जुबिन सेम हैं. हम खाली हार्ट वाले हैं. My entire life is ruled by my heart. There is no mind in it. Betrayed all the time. All the time.
And
I
you
get
know
betrayed. And I know it. And I'm very happy.
And you are not cautious in the next step.
I'm not. Because when you listen to your heart, you're listening to that supreme consciousness. Because they say, right, an idle mind is a devil's workshop. But they say God resides in your heart. So I'm only on one side. If you keep all the glory of the world, all the riches of the world, all the whatever you call it.
Yeah.
On one side, and if you say change your personality and start thinking and get calculative, I'll say thank you, Garg. You can have that. Because the experience of feeling God every moment of your life and knowing that I'm a Destiny's child, which we all are, but we don't know that. So he laughs, Man, they say, what is that saying? That man, कि हम प्लान करते हैं और खुदा हंसता है हम पे कि अच्छा तुम प्लान करोगे. So I'm very happy. There was no calculation. I took that break because I wanted to grow up with my child. I wanted to enjoy his babyhood into becoming a preteen, because those are the most precious years. And I started working very early in my life. I got introduced to music by God's grace at the age of 17 in 1990. And, so I was doing my thing. And so for me, I lost a lot of the Diwalis and a lot of the summer vacations because I was there with Nadeem Shravan and I used to try to make it. The Jingle World was great. Then when I found the Jingle World, anyways, I didn't want to be. I had never dreamt of becoming a film singer or anything because music itself was so new in my life. And I have no stories that I had learned as a child. I went to this Gharana or that. I wish I had because that would have made me a richer, a more enriched artist. So I enjoyed every day of that break that I took and it was a conscious decision, which me and my wife, because she sang far before I even came onto the scene with all the big Bollywood music directors and with all the people making jingles like Ranjit, Barot and, So when my son was sort of getting to 4, my father suddenly was diagnosed with terminal cancer. So when I was about to get back in 2018, late 2018, I got the news of my father's illness. And within a few months, he moved on. It was all of a sudden. And then COVID happened 3 months after he left. So what was supposed to be like a 4-5 year hiatus, planned, so to say, that part I had planned. कि मैं मेरे बच्चे के साथ 4 से 5 साल गुजारूंगा and then I'll fill myself up with that happiness. And I wanted to have him to grow up with my mother, father, his nana, nani. And so when I came back, I was like, my son still feels, Dad, do you have to go to work? We homeschooled him till last year because, we didn't want him to go to school and we miss out on some 8 hours of the day. And he could travel with a 5 kg bag on his back and, be a...
I have heard this concept of homeschooling when I was at school. I used to dream that I will also not go to school, but it was never possible because we have a stigma in our society that formal education is a must.
Yes, unfortunately.
How are you coping with this?
Well, my wife is an IIM grad. She's done her IIM from Lucknow. So in spite of doing all of that, and she was always a very brilliant student. I can't say that about myself academically. I was an average student. And, bordering first class and in between first and distinction. So between 60 and 75%, but she was in that 95 bracket. And so she's a musician too. So after doing her IIM, she didn't take placement because she wanted to do music, right?
Okay.
So she was very clear that you don't become something just because you've gone to the biggest institutes. You natively need to have intelligence and you need to be connected to Mother Earth. And she's also very, very connected that way. And she could have been anything she wanted, but she chose to live a life of spirituality and she's always searching. She's searching for the next challenge. And she grew up in a regular SSC medium school, but intelligence doesn't come by going to an IIB school or an ICSE school or a...
Yeah, definitely.
So we were very clear that we didn't want him to get up in the morning, take a tiffin which was cooked at 6 in the morning and eat it till 3 o'clock in the afternoon in a short break and lunch break. We wanted him to eat at home, eat good food, thereby grow physically and mentally in a sattvic environment, and no need to carry. So we put him on homeschooling ke baad, we put him on a slight online school so that he could have a community.
Okay.
And I had moved to Bangalore for a bit during COVID. So there we were in a gated community. So we had 30-40 kids. So he enjoyed.
Okay. How old are you?
He's about 10 and 3 months now. Just about 10 and a half.
And what he thinks about his life, what he wants to become.
He loves it. So while we were there in the countryside, and I love the countryside too, I don't like cities. So I'd already planned to move out of Bombay in 2012. I made a country home and I decided that I'll stay there. But then he was born around he was conceived around 2014. So he just loves it. So we were plucking mangoes. We were going to the Gaushala. He was seeing cows being milked. We would go and pluck mangoes from the tree. We would pluck chickus from the milk, gooseberries, aula. So he's been in the interiors, in the mountains, drinking water from a stream. So he's grown up that way, and he's as organic as one should. And he likes the city because he gets to meet his cousin brother, But right now also for the last 2.5 months, he's been back in our Bangalore place, which is Satya Sai Baba's ashram. And he's part of a symphony orchestra there, which is on the verge of forming a Guinness Book record. Because there are going to be 250 musicians playing tomorrow on Satya Sai Baba's 100th birthday.
Tomorrow you are attending the...
Yeah, I'm attending the function, and he's going to be playing 45 pieces, which he has learned in the last 2.5 months on violin with the symphony orchestra, which is a 100-piece orchestra in the ashram. And these 100 musicians who are from the Satya Sai organization are all underprivileged children economically.
Okay, so all they have together groomed and made
they've been groomed, and they are all playing world-class instruments like violin, cello, double bass, viola, trombone, trumpet, French horn,
half of
sax.
I haven't heard.
There you go. So proper
So
symphony
so
orchestra.
good, yeah.
And they're all reading Western notations and playing.
They're properly reading the notations.
Properly. They're playing Bach, Beethoven,
Oh wow.
and and also, in 5 matra, 7 matra, 9 matra, 13 and a half, that kind of time signatures.
This is a different world going on somewhere.
Totally. But this is how I believe God wants the world to be of. And what Sai Baba always wanted was one world, one family. Love all, serve all. Which is everybody is actually everybody else's brother. We're all the same. We're all born of a mother and a father. So it's actually what the world... A.R. Rahman sir just visited our ashram. And he was so pleasantly surprised and happy to have come there. You can see, you can pull out A.R. Rahman visits Satya Sai Baba's ashram in Bangalore and by the countryside. And he's like, wow, this is a dream. He's saying, I've been trying to put a symphony orchestra for 15 years. And you guys have the best life. He said, you guys are getting free food, education, lodging, nutrition, and music from teachers all over the world who come as devotees and teach. And we got a very dear Greek friend called Dimitris Lambrionis who teaches and who stays there and teaches while his family is in America. So he's taking care of his family at the same time he's teaching here and living here for the last 12 years and teaching. And everything is free of cost.
So music can change our life.
Music has so much power. God revealed himself as sound and light. Sound first. Though light travels faster than sound. Nad. No, they say Nad, Brahma. So music is God.
When you visited Kamakhya, you went at night. It's a place where I even find peace for myself.
Sure.
So rather than following the rituals there, I just go there and meditate and sit for a while, and it feels so amazing. What energy did you feel here? Because I have always heard from people saying that they feel different energies here.
Yeah, of course.
So how was it feeling, being at Kamakhya? And that night when you went with Zubeen?
Well, it was my second time because I had come to Guwahati before that for a performance with Shreya in 2006. And this was 2008. So I'd already gone and seen Ma there. And it was like a temple that I've never seen. That kind of architecture is so beautiful because we are so used to seeing temple domes which are taller and and more triangular. But this was just different. It was triangular, but it's a shape you cannot put your finger on. It's neither round nor triangular.
Yeah.
And the energies were just. And I'd heard that mother is in the form of a yoni there because the mother's yoni fell there from the sati. Parts of Ma's body. So it was, but that night in 2008, after the Nehru Stadium concert with Zubeen, when I went there, it was different because I'd gone in the day. And there we went in the night and we were sitting on the steps all night and just laughing and reminiscing and talking and doing satsang, literally. Though we were not talking about God or Ma, but he was talking about philosophy and I was talking about my philosophy, and he was, and obviously he was, while he was in the car, he enjoyed a drink, but when he came there, he didn't. But when he went back, he continued on his drink. And he said, "तू कैसा है यार? तू गांजा वाला और तू ना स्मोक करता है ना ड्रिंक करता है." I said, "मैं कंपनी तो दे रहा हूँ ना तुझे." So I felt very, very connected. And I saw even saw the place where, so the only thing I didn't resonate with was the part where the sacrifice happens, but that's my,
your own take. Yeah.
because I personally feel that God doesn't need any sacrifice except the sacrifice of your evil thoughts and your negative habits. As in, even that I feel is something that, because God is everything. If you think He is good, He's good. If you think He's the devil, He's the devil. Because who do you think the devil was born of? They say Lucifer was a devotee who fell from grace. So there's no concept of evil for me. Everything is good. God is good. And if you can be good, then there is God within. G-O-O-D. One O gets dropped and it's God. So God lies in goodness.
How did you decode these philosophies? Where was it there right from the beginning?
My parents instilled all of this, but my guru and my God, Satya Sai Baba, and now Madhusudan Sai, who has taken over after Satya Sai Baba physically left after his samadhi, they echo these thoughts, and I see them living the actions. God in action is seva. God in action is love. So that's why love all, serve all.
Your family history is also interesting. Recently, Balochistan has become a center point of geopolitics. And then there is a very beautiful temple, very powerful temple, Shaktipeeth, which I've recently read about. And then just while we were talking, I just got to know about your family history. Like, how is it connected?
We are Baluchi Hindus, my ancestors. So Hinglaj, Ma Hinglaj, like Ma Kamakhya. So the back part of the head. So imagine Lord Shiva, Har Har Mahadev, he holding Ma Sati. So when you see the body, that gigantic, omnipresent physical body, which, so when he was standing up there, the head was around that Kandahar, that place, literally. So that part fell there, and that Shaktipeeth, like 51 parts of Mother Sati. So my ancestors moved, and they have been, this is what my grandfather told me, and his grandfather and great-grandfather had told him, because I had a detailed discussion with my grandfather, and he said that, we moved 13 generations before to Mumbai via Jaisalmer, then Gujarat, and then into Maharashtra.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. So Sanjay Leela Bansali is a community cousin of mine. Same mother goddess. So I'm a Bansali. But because we were licensed druggists, we were manufacturing marijuana for medical purposes. So why surname Ganjawala?
So that's literally Ganjawala.
Literally, exactly. It is Ganjawala, because we produced marijuana for medical purposes for the British. During Quit India, my ancestors stopped because the slogan was that we do not do anything that will profit them.
Okay.
So they were obviously making money. They were using a very small part of it to make the medical marijuana for cancer patients and for morphine patches, which once my father was asked to take, but he didn't take it.
Okay.
To numb the pain of cancer.
Okay.
And they were selling to the rest of the world. We've always known the British to be cheaters. And so they were taking maybe 5%. And so my father tells me this when I was in my college, that we were given the title of Rao Sahib, and we didn't play Lagan. My family didn't pay Lagan because the British said that you're not doing a noble profession of giving us marijuana for medical purposes, so you don't have to, as a family, pay tax. And they gave a title to, like how the royal family gives knights people by calling, and then they are called Sir. So we were given a title of Rao Sahib, the family. But obviously after 1942 we abolished that, and my ancestors got into manufacturing iron and steel furniture and buildings and construction.
Okay, so it's literally the
Ganjawala, absolutely. Someone the trader of marijuana. But we were licensed, so we were giving it to the government, and they were, of course, using it
for themselves. Coming back to Assam, when you see Assam back in 2008 and when you see Assam right now, what's the stark difference that you see of the state now?
a lot of development, a lot of big roads, lots of. It was a quaint little, beautiful C town, D town, and I don't mean I'm not belittling it, but it's just a satellite, small city, not like Bombay, Delhi, Madras, Calcutta. And today, when I see it, it's right up there with any big town, in terms of and in terms of traffic also.
Too much traffic. Like we can finish an entire album while we know
I
the
know,
traffic.
I know.
And when, for example, like this is a perspective which I always wanted to learn, that we have seen Northeastern people been victim of racism, and it's been years that we are continuously repeating the same thoughts. For example, someone who is there in Mumbai, how do that individual look at Assam or Northeast as a whole? For example, you have traveled to Assam. So if I could get a generalized opinion about how people look at Assam from the broader perspective of mainland India or northern India, how would you like to explain that?
You use the word racism, but because I grew up in a different environment, I grew up in a very broad-minded family, cultured family, non-judgmental family. So for me, the entire Northeast, West Bengal was the corridor, was the where the door opened for me for the Northeast. And Guwahati was the first city and state that I entered in the Northeast. So even before I went to West Bengal, I went there for the music release of Dhoom.
Okay.
But that was just one night. But my first performance was in Guwahati, in the Northeast. It started with Guwahati in 2006 with me and Shreya performing. And so for me, I always knew that you had musicians in the Northeast. Because, meeting Kalyan as early as I met him, and Dhrubajyoti Fukan and Jatin. For me, it was a norm ke agar aap Assami ho ya Bengali ho. I had friends from Mizoram in school because ours was a boarding school.
Okay.
So Zolian Bolchim Sangha and his sister, they were all from Mizo. So, and obviously I had heard so much about Meghalaya, being not just Hindi but also English music. And so for me it was always, fortunately, unfortunately, I didn't think about the racism angle because I always thought the hilly-billy people were happy. And they are. They're much happier because they are mountain people. Nepal was... Purnima ji, the great legend Shushma Shresht, she picked me up from a college competition in 92 and took me to Anand Milinji and Anu Malikan. So, and she's Nepalese. And then knowing Louis Banks. So I always knew Pancham Da, who I'm such a big fan of, who's from Tripura. So I always knew that they were very musically and rich and inclined all the time. So that was my growing up, and even through my professional life. For me, Northeast means music and huge talents of music.
I guess we are also running out of time because you are...
I have to go for my concert.
Yeah, like I don't really want to stop because I'm enjoying the conversation so much. But at the end of the day, I would just want you to express your thought about the new generation of people who are watching us. A lot of people from Assam watch our podcast because we are mainly based in here.
Sure.
But how would you want to put up this thought that we have lost an icon and now that space is void? In Bollywood, we have seen people replace one icon after another. But in Assam, it's such a small industry and we literally feel we have lost a guardian here. So when Zubinda used to say Assam is known for three things, tea, rhino and Zubinda, we used to have fun then, but now it's literally the biggest and harsh truth. How would you want to express this thought and the idea about Northeast in the next years as per your opinion?
He was never joking. See, when you have God-sent people, if you are not a pure soul and if you are not of that caliber, and I'm not saying we have decided the caliber, souls like KK, to come for a short period when I say short means 20 years if you look at time and if you look at 20 years, it's not even a speck, right? And Zubeen was 10 years more than that. Like Zubeen came in 92 for his first album. So if you see icons in Kishore Da, Rafi Saab, they all died before they hit 60. That same, between 53 and 57, 58. Okay. So they're all sent for a purpose. They're all, even Mandolin Srinivasji, that great legend, passed away at 45. They've come for a specific period to spread their love and happiness and to live their life in an exemplary way.
Yeah.
By his humanitarian work, by his selflessness.
Yeah.
So what I feel, yes, there is a void and there will always be.
Yeah.
Because you cannot replace a Kishore Kumar Sahab, Mohammad Rafi, Lata ji, Manada, Mukesh ji, Zubeen Garg, KK, to name a few. And they will always, he knew somewhere, you could see that in his eyes, that he was in love with his people and he didn't want to go. But in his last couple of interviews which you saw, he was already talking about leaving.
Yeah. He was so depressed.
In that last interview with a lady,
Rita Chaudhary,
he said, once I go, I'm tired, he said.
Yeah. And it was so visible on his face.
Exactly. And so the take from here is, I personally wrote one post last night that if the newer generation and his contemporaries in Assam, if they want to fill that void, firstly, it cannot be. But if they want to, then they have to live his life as an example, not just musically, but as a humanitarian, as someone who gave more than he received, someone who made sure that there was justice served to his Northeast people by fighting, by putting up fearlessly his thoughts to the government or to the judiciary. So if we can live his life, then you are giving birth to a legacy. To say yes, but do something. If there's no unity in thought, deed and word, then, because he was not like that. So if you want to really pay a tribute to Zubeen, then be exemplary and be his reflection. Be candles in the wind. Don't let the wind blow you away. Then you're not a true fan of your icon.
So nicely put up. My last request, just one song that you feel will be a perfect tribute from your side to Zubeen Garg to end the podcast.
Sure. चन्नावे घर आ जावे टोलावे घर आ जावे तेरियां उड्डिकां विच मुक चले साँझ ततड़ी दे रोग मुका जावे. Why I'm saying Channave is because it's like a prayer or a call from a mother or a sister or a wife or a friend to someone who's away and saying Channave ghar aa jave, So somewhere, I hope we can all wake up and feel like this was a nightmare. And then we wake up and we find out that, Zubeen's coming to perform tomorrow, in our area.
Thank you so much for the time, sir. And it was my honor, our honor to host you here. And thank you so much for considering us. And someday, I really hope we can sit for longer hours because I feel we will uncover so many things because I really enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you.
I hope you had a great time.
Actually, I'm surprised that I'm here because I normally don't do podcasts because I'm pretty private. But I guess it was meant to happen.
Thank you so much, sir. We'll end the podcast. Thanks
Thank you.
for the time.